The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today, giving you a Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle, and this is actually versus my buddy Munchlax Gaming. Now looking at my team, you're going to notice I don't have a single Mega, and that's because this is back when I had Mega Aerodactyl and basically gave up on it and saw the Talonflame did a ton more work, so that's why I have it here. So I have a Banded Talonflame, Assault Vest, Goodra, Specs, Trick, Rotom, Wash, Scarf, Ditto, Sub 3 attacks Gengar, and Physically Defensive Tentacruel. Now looking at my opponent's team, he does have that Munchlax, which is pretty goofy, and I love it because it's the mascot of his channel basically, but the rest of his pokes seem pretty threatening. That Klefki could be annoying because Aegislash does wall Tentacruel pretty nicely, and then he does have Garchomp or Absol, which you can tell he does have a Mega Absol here, but I wasn't sure going into the battle, although it makes sense since Absol does need a bit of a buff with that Mega Stone, and my Tentacruel is going to have a ton of pressure on it because he has a ton of physical attackers on his side of the field, and that Garchomp could possibly destroy my entire team with proper prediction. So let's see how this battle goes. So I'm actually going to start out with my Scarf Ditto turn 1, just trying to scout out some of his team, and he actually starts with his Klefki. So I'm going to turn in his Klefki here, and I don't think I remember seeing spikes, but I did see T-Wave, and I definitely don't want my Ditto being T-Wave first turn. That could be awful. So I'm going to my Rotom Wash to take the expected T-Wave, but he turns out to bring in his Garchomp. So I'm just going to go for the trick here to give him my Specs. I am faster, so that's telling me he doesn't have a ton of speed investment. And he actually carries the Poison Barb, which I guess it works for this Poison jab to hurt fairies. And so he actually gets me with the Poison here. Not going to be a huge deal though, but I am going to switch out right away, go into my Gengar to take the expected Poison jab once again. And Gengar takes it relatively nicely, seeing as I do quad resist it, and here I'm thinking he might carry Dragon Claw, but it might be nice to substitute as well to scout out the rest of his team, which I do. So now I pretty much have a free Shadow Ball against this Aegislash, which will do a decent amount. Not expecting to kill, but it should do a nice amount of damage. But he actually does go for the Shadow Sneak here just to break my sub, so it's a decent play in the case that he didn't have Shadow Ball, or maybe he was thinking my Shadow Ball would kill him. Nonetheless, since he has lower defenses now, I'm able to take him out with the Shadow Ball. So now he's going to bring in his Absol, and it's going to be a bit of a prediction game. Here when he Mega Evolves, this is where I realize this is his Mega Evolution, as I could also tell by the Poison Barb on his Garchomp. So here I'm going to sub down first turn just to be safe, to see if he carries Sucker Punch or if he's going to be that kind of player who predicts with Night Slash. I know Absol is relatively frail, so a Sledge Bomb should do a ton of damage to him, so I don't want to risk the Focus Blast. He does turn out to go for Sucker Punch for the first turn, and therefore I get a free sub up, and I'm able to take him out in the case he goes for Sucker Punch next turn. But for whatever reason, he doesn't go for Sucker Punch next turn, so I still have a free sub. Now he brings in his Garchomp, which probably will take one Shadow Ball, which it does relatively nicely, but it looks like a solid 2-hit KO, and therefore I'm able to take him out next turn, as opposed to my Gengar just dying this turn, getting off a decent amount of damage, or me even having to switch out trying to take on this Garchomp with someone else. But nonetheless, I go for the Shadow Ball here. He lives with just a little bit, and he's able to take me out with a crunch, and I finally go down. But Gengar did a ton of work this game. Now I can go right into my Ditto, scout him out a bit. I am Scarf, so I will outspeed him this turn, and I have no reason to not go for the EQ. Predicting the Dragon type move, whether it was Dragon Claw or Outrage he was carrying, he goes into his Azumarill here, but I have no reason, like I said, to not go for the EQ. I do get a crit here, but seeing as it did about 75%, it would have been very close whether that crit would have mattered. Now he goes into his Klefki for whatever reason. He doesn't go for the Reflect, so I'm not sure why he brought this in, but nonetheless I just go for the EQ, and I'm easily able to take him out. Now he's going to bring in his Munchlax, and I really have no reason to not keep pressing EQ. After all, I do have a Scarf Garchomp in my hands, so here I'm actually going to get a crit, which this one looks more like it would have mattered, but to be fair, all he has to hit me is Toxic, and therefore really the residual damage won't affect me enough by the time that he's able to stall me out, even though that he carries Protect. Now I'm going to switch out to my Talonflame because it's banded and able to clean up the rest of his team, and it turns out he's actually going to go for the Protect, trying to get the double Protect to get some more toxic damage on me, but nonetheless it fails. He can go for Protect here, won't really matter. If I was Swords Dance it could have been even more scary, but in this case I can just keep pressing Brave Bird and I'll be totally fine. So I do go for it. It's able to easily take him out from this range, so in this case the crit didn't matter, and now all that's left is his Garchomp, and since I outspeed for sure with my Gale Wings Brave Bird, I'm easily able to take him out, and that'll be the game. So great game, Munchlax. Sorry guys for not uploading too much recently. I was really involved with the tournament Tournyeement yesterday, but I should hopefully be back to regular uploading relatively soon. Also, for new pokes adding to my team, I do have a bunch that I can definitely EV train very soon. I just really haven't had too much time recently. Also, since Pokebank isn't out yet, my diversity of teams won't be tremendous, but hopefully Pokebank will be out soon and I can get some new pokes for you guys. So that'll be it for today. Thank you all for watching, like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.